could have been in the regular season, or if some people are overachieving or doing exactly what they need to do to win for their team. We're going to be grading them off of their first round, performances. So it could be a lot of fun. It could be controversial. So make sure you comment down below your own grades for your own favorite players, favorite series so far, things like that. I think it could be a lot of fun. Also, make sure you give this video a like. If you do like this video, it helps me out so much. You have no idea. And also, obviously, subscribe to the channel. Not only because you want to, but because I'm also doing a 7.5k subscriber giveaway. We're about 1,000 off, so make sure you get in before that happens. So I think that's everything I needed to say. Make sure you check out yesterday's video. What did I post yesterday? Oh yeah, yesterday I did another $15 team builder video. So if you like those a lot, or just want another video to relax to, make sure you check out yesterday's video. But yes, I think that's it now. So let's jump right into tonight's video. Alrighty, so for tonight's video, we're going to be talking about each individual playoff round. Now, no, I'm not going to be talking about the games and how I feel about them. That will be in a video maybe a couple days from now once all the series wrap up completely. Then I'll do a first round recap. This is not a first round recap. This is just me talking about an individual player on each team. Not the big video. I'm not going to go into the grand scheme of everything. Just individual players. So make sure you guys, when you guys see another video talking about the first round, this isn't a repeat video. It's a totally different video. So, with that being said, a series that actually just ended yesterday was the Utah Jazz and the Memphis Grizzlies, and also the 1-8 seed in the East, the 76ers and the Washington Wizards are both done. Another series that's over are the Knicks and Hawks, also the Bucks and Heat, and also the Nets and Sixers. So the Eastern Conference is locked in. The West still has Clippers, Mavericks, and then tonight, as you're watching this video, the Blazers, Nuggets, and the Suns and Lakers play. So it's going to be very interesting to see these next couple, the games go on and see who moves on. But we're going to be focusing mostly first on the ones that are done, and then maybe at the end of the video I'll talk about the other ones that haven't been wrapped up yet. So let's start out first with the Sixers and the Washington Wizards. It was a good series. Again, I'm not going to really talk about a whole lot about the entire series, just individual play. And so, if you're talking about grading superstars, who is a superstar for these teams? Well, I would say Ben Simmons and Joellenby, and then you have Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook for the Washington Wizards. So, if I were to grade these guys, let's check out stats first. Okay, so for Bradley Beal in this series, averaged 40 minutes a game with 30 points per game as well, shooting 45% from the field, only 22% from the three-point line. My God, that's pretty bad actually. 4 assists, 4 turnovers. He's struggling a whole lot. And for Bradley Beal, I would grade Bradley Beal in this series. Again, I'm trying to not go super into detail about the series. Matchup-wise, it was terrible for the Wizards because, as we all know, the Sixers are a great defensive team with really good perimeter defenders like Danny Green, Thibault, even Ben Simmons. A lot of scrappy defenders. So obviously being a guard-heavy team with Westbrook and Beal, kind of hard for Beal to get the spots he wants. I would give Bradley Beal maybe like a B-. I think that's pretty safe. He did do good. Like, he shot 45%. Got 30 points per game. He definitely helped out a lot in that game 4 when the Wizards won. That helped out a lot. But he didn't do anything super crazy. I mean, he was, one of the best scorers in the league in the previous season, this past season. And that really showed a lot, and it really helped out a lot. He was going for crazy, 40-point bomb, 50-point bomb games even. And in the playoffs, you were hoping for that sort of stardom to show. And even that assist to turnover ratio is god-awful. The defense for Philly really hurt him a lot, and I just didn't feel like he performed like a normal Bradley Beal was scoring, 35, 40 points in a game. And then Russell Westbrook himself averaged 19 points, 12 assists, which is obviously, what Russell Westbrook does. And then 10 rebounds, so he averaged a triple-double in the playoffs, which again, Russell Westbrook, triple-double guy. I understand that obviously triple-double Russ, yippee-ki-yay, like that's awesome, but like efficiency-wise, not the best. But again, I'm not even really entirely sure what to give Russell Westbrook. Maybe again, another C+, B- type of ordeal. Probably, yeah. I mean, he did average a triple-double, which is sort of like the only thing people will look at when they see Russell Westbrook, but efficiency-wise, I'm not entirely sure. It's like he was killing the game or anything like that. I wasn't super impressed by it, if that makes any sense. So I think, yeah, like an average, like C+, maybe even like a C is okay for that. And then we look over to the other side of things. We look at Ben Simmons and Joellenby, which obviously Joellenby is actually out. He got hurt. I'm not even really entirely sure if he's coming back for the next series. He probably will have time, obviously, due to everyone having to wait for the rest of the first round matchups to end. I think it will be nice for them to get a little bit of a rest period, especially for Joellenby, obviously. But let's see. For Ben Simmons here, he's averaging so far in the playoffs 15 points on 64% from the field. My God, that's crazy. He is shooting only 35% from the field, from the free throw line this year. Sorry, that's pretty terrible. But he's also averaging 10 rebounds, 9 assists. Very nice. Over a steal a game, almost a block a game. His plus minus right now is 17 plus 17. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Especially for the games that he was out. Ben Simmons definitely has been playing okay since Joellenby's been out. This past game, the elimination game, he played 39 minutes, scored 19 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists, a block, and 2 steals. Not bad for sure. I would give Ben Simmons like a solid B. Like he did everything he was supposed to do, especially when Joellenby went out. He didn't go, super crazy mode, trying to be the go-to hero scorer, which is not his game. He is a facilitator, a defender, a good, solid, point guard. Like he is a point guard. So I think he did everything he could. And then obviously Tobias Harris really took over that role as the second starter, or second star, I could even say, scoring 28. And then Seth Curry giving that crazy 30-point game. Anyways, Ben Simmons did what he was supposed to do. I would give him a B. He did everything he was supposed to do. And then if we're looking at the other games where Joellenby played, I felt like Joellenby was really starting to come into his own and really being like the go-to guy. Let's see his playoff stats. He played 4 games and in only 24 minutes was averaging 24 points, 63% from the field. Also 46% from the 3-point line, 89% from the free throw line, averaging 7 rebounds, 3 blocks, 3 assists, half a block, and 1 steal a game. I think Joellenby was really starting to, come into his own, like I said. In the final game, he played a full game. He played 27 minutes and scored 36 points. Oh my God. It was good, but then again, he also got hurt, so I don't know if I should take that into the grade that he also got hurt, which is typical Joellenby. I would give him I would give him like a B+. I wouldn't say A-. If he was doing, 2-3 blocks a game and being a defensive anchor and things like that, I would give him maybe a little bit more of an edge, but offensively really good, especially in that last game he was playing. You could really see he was starting to finally come into his own for the playoffs. I'll give him a B+. I think a B+ is a very solid pickup. A very solid grade for Joellenby. Next up, let's actually check out the other 1-8 matchup with Memphis and the Utah Jazz, which ended yesterday, which thankfully, I don't know, it's interesting to see that series because everyone's very high now on the Utah Jazz for beating the Memphis Grizzlies, which we all know they were going to. I don't know, they seem very high up on their horse right now, but let's see how well they do in the next round. Donna Mitchell, a star for the Utah Jazz. So far this playoffs are averaging 28.5 points per game, 45% from the field, 40% from 3, 90% from the free throw line. My God, 6 assists and over a steal a game. Wow, playoff series so far. And obviously since last season in the bubble, he's been playing very well in the playoffs. I will give him, I think a B plus is also really good. I think he's doing very well, especially coming off a pretty bad injury that he was out for a lot of the season, or at least the last couple weeks of the season. Do I want to give him an A minus? I really want to save the A minuses for, big time up and coming, like, wow, I did not see this coming type of play. I did see this type of play coming from a great scorer like Donna Mitchell, an already really good player in Donna Mitchell as well, so he's doing everything he's supposed to, and a little bit more. I think a B plus is good. Maybe I could argue an A minus, but then again, it's the Memphis Grizzlies. Like, the Memphis Grizzlies are a good team. They're a scrappy team, but again, it's nothing that they're posing a threat to the Utah Jazz. I'm going to be taking, I think a B plus is a pretty good grade. And then you also have Rudy Gobert for the Utah Jazz as well, who definitely in the past couple games has been scoring a lot of points. In the last game, the elimination game, he scored 17 points and 8 rebounds, which is super crazy for Rudy Gobert. If you don't know, he's not a scorer at all. But so far in these playoffs, he's been averaging 17 points per game. A dude who usually only averages between 11 and 13 is now averaging 17 points per game in the playoffs. 78% from the field, which obviously he's a big man. That makes a lot of sense. 8.8 rebounds, averaging 3 blocks per game. I'm going to say, I think a B plus as well for Rudy Gobert. You could maybe argue a B or a B minus, but I think the output and scoring that he's actually putting up now is impressive. It's what he should be doing. He should be averaging between 15 and 20 points per game, but also being that defensive anchor. He needs to be able to do both for the Utah Jazz to be great. He's doing that now. B plus, maybe even an A minus. Now, I think B plus. I think they're both doing what they're supposed to be doing. It was against a weaker opponent. We're going to see again in the next round if they face the Clippers or the Mavericks. That would be a true test of the Utah Jazz. And for Ja, he did good for what he was given with. Jaren, I'm not even going to be talking about Jaren in this video. He is not the next go-to guy for Memphis, at least for this year. That man was on and off for the entire year. But for Ja, he averaged 30 points per game, 48% from the field, 32% from three, which I hope to God he finally gets that good jump shot one day. 77% from the free throw line, averaged about 5 rebounds, 8 assists, almost a steal a game. Not bad for the team he's on, for how young they are. I think a B minus is good. Again, he probably could have done a little bit more offensively, but for a great defensive team in Utah, I mean, there's not really a lot you can do, especially when you're really just the only guy doing things. And I know, Dylan Brooks played very well, and Valanciunas is a good player, and again, Jaren is usually really good, but man, in this series, he really couldn't do a lot. I don't even think there was times on the court he was on the floor during crunch time situations, so I think for what Ja had, a B minus, like, he did good. He put in a lot of effort. He definitely, they won a game, which is really good. Some of those games were actually very close at the end, but then obviously Utah just being the better team overall while in those games, so it kind of makes a lot of sense. So, okay, so now for the Knicks-Hawks series that also just finished up yesterday. Man, for the Knicks, that's obviously just going to be Julius Randle, and for Julius Randle, how he played in the playoffs was average. He basically just did what he usually does, maybe even a little bit under. I will give Julius Randle a C, maybe even a C minus. Like, he averaged 18 points on 29% shooting. He shot 29% from the floor all around. Field goal percentage, 29%. That's so bad for a big man. Like, that's crazy. 33% from the three-point line, 85% from the free throw line, 11 rebounds, really good. 4 assists, not bad. But dude, he 18 points per game for Randle, and Randle was also kind of a part of that problem. Didn't really show up for the playoffs. Like, we were all hoping him to be some sort of 25 point per game double machine. He was an average Julius Randle. So I think a C, I think maybe even a C minus might be a little bit more appropriate for Julius Randle points on 44% from the field, and he shot 34% from three, but he chucked up 8 threes a game, which is a bunch for Trae Young. 92% from the free throw line. Also averaging 10 assists, a 30 and 10 performance from Trae Young. That's absolutely insane. Only averaging 3 turnovers, over 10 assists. That's a great turnover ratio. Oh my god. Trae Young did really good for how good and scrappy that defense is for the Knicks. He performed well even in the stressful area of the Garden, being his first playoff series. Again, I really want to give him an A-. I really do, because again, a lot of people picked the Hawks to lose, Trae Young to get clamped up, and that didn't happen. So I think I'm gonna have to do another tour, but it has to be like at least a B+. It cannot be anything less than a B+. I could definitely argue myself into an A- because how well he performed. Because again, I thought the Knicks were gonna clamp him up. I thought this, I thought that, but it didn't happen. Trae Young played phenomenal. And now for the Brooklyn Nets, and honestly, for the Brooklyn Nets, I could honestly just clump the 3 stars of Kyrie, KD, and James Harden into one big thing. I'll give them all a B. I think they're all doing good in the playoffs. They're playing well together in the playoffs. I think they're not doing anything super crazy. I don't think they're underperforming. I think a solid B is good. I think they're maybe even overperforming a little bit, playing together as a trio. James Harden sort of controlling that second unit of the bench very well. If anything, I would give James Harden like a B+ maybe, because he does control the team when Kyrie and KD are sitting, which is very impressive to sort of help keep leads while James Harden is doing that. But honestly, like I don't think they deserve an individual rating amongst themselves, because they're all as a group playing together extremely well, which is obviously really cool. I mean, Kyrie had a phenomenal year this year. Kevin Durant, even coming off an injury, played really well. Kyrie in the playoffs is averaging 25 points, 50% from the field, and 90% from the free throw line. Only averaging 3 assists, but again, he's not the point guard anymore. That's James Harden's job to facilitate the ball, which he is doing a very good job at. Kevin Durant still scoring in bunches. He scored 42 points in Game 4. Kyrie scored 40 points in Game 4. So like, they're scoring nearly over 130 points every game. Like, they're doing what we all thought they were going to be doing. But for Jason Tatum, I think might be the first player on this list that gets a big ol' solid A, not an A+, because an A+, for me, he probably would have had to like win the series in my opinion. But by himself, what he did, scoring wise, defensively, trying to keep a hold on this Brooklyn Nets defense, I think Tatum deserves an A at the very least, because this dude is up in the books now with greats like Larry Bird for the Boston Celtics. Like, Jason Tatum in this playoff series really showed that, again, he can be that go-to guy, maybe for a championship contending team one day. And I think this series, really solidified that. I think having that really crappy season for the Boston Celtics really sucked, but they ended on a bright note, showing that, hey, Jason Tatum is still here. He's still an elite player. He's only going to get better IQ-wise, defensively-wise, as the game slows down for him, and facilitating the ball. He's going to get better. But scoring-wise, that was a great performance that he tried to do for the Boston Celtics. I'm going to give Jason Tatum a solid A. And then if we're looking at, yes, the very disappointing series of the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat, the 4-game sweep. Again, I'm not going to go into detail a whole lot about it, because I will be doing that in another video. But individually, the Bucks, Giannis, man, he definitely played good. He wasn't like dominating every game, scoring like 30 plus points, this and that. He played a very good, steady pace. He played for 36 minutes a game, 23 points, 23.5 to be more exact, 45% from the field, 63% from the free throw line, averaged 11.5 rebounds, 8 assists, almost 2 steals a game, like almost a block a game as well. Giannis played good, but he wasn't dominant like we were all, used to seeing Giannis play, especially in the regular season. I think in this playoff run, he's going to ease himself into a good sort of run is a B minus. I think his play was good, but I think offensively he could have been more of that go-to Giannis player we could have seen. You could maybe argue a B, but I mean Giannis just, we're used to seeing Giannis dominant, and it seems like he's doing this for a reason. He seems like he's easing himself into the playoffs, especially next round where they're going to be facing against the Brooklyn Nets. Hopefully in that round we see more of that dominant Giannis sort of back-to-back MVP type of guy. And then on the other hand, we have Jimmy Butler, which Jimmy Butler in the playoffs last year was off on a different planet. He was crazy, especially in the finals. Like I always talk about finals Jimmy Butler going tit for tat, punch for punch with LeBron James in NBA Finals, doing triple-double things and crazy assist numbers and doing a lot that he could do, which was great. But in this year's playoffs, he only averaged 14 points in 40 minutes of playing, shooting 29% from the field. Yikes. He did do, Jimmy Butler things. He was averaging 7.5 rebounds, 7 assists, so that's really good, over a steal a game. All good things, but man, he could not buy a basket. And obviously with Milwaukee having, Giannis, Middleton, Jrue Holiday, a lot of really good perimeter defenders, it's going to be really hard for Giannis. It's going to be really hard for Jimmy to do what he needs to do. Scoring-wise, he did everything else really good. But man, he couldn't buy a bucket. And, is a D+. Could this be a D+? I guess it could be. I think that's maybe the lowest you can give him. I think a C- is okay. Kind of like with Randle, we're all expecting, the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler to finally come into the playoffs and really show that last year wasn't a fluke. And he just played kind of below average, kind of like with Julius Randle. So I think for Randle, I give him a C-. I think for Jimmy, I'll give him a C- as well. Okay, so the only series we have left are ones that are not over yet. Could they end tonight? Yes, if Denver wins and the Suns win tonight, the series will be over. But as right now for me, they're not. But I don't think if this is really going to sway my decisions at all, so I'm still going to go on and do it. We'll do Denver and Blazers. I think Jokic for the Denver Nuggets has been doing exactly what we thought he was going to do. He was going to score a lot of points because Portland has terrible interior defense, and he's going to facilitate the ball very well and get players like Austin Rivers and other players, Michael Porter Jr., like those sort of role guys, and elevate their play into being better than what they are. Austin Rivers is the second star for Denver so far this series, and that's mostly because of the play of Jokic and how he controls the floor. I gotta give him at least, oh man, could he be an A-? He's averaging 32 points on 50% shooting from the field, 41% from the three-point line, 90% from the free throw line, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, almost a block, almost a steal. Like, he's playing really good in this series so far. I'm gonna give him a B+. At the very least, I think a B+ is good. Could you argue yourself into like an A- type of thing? I think yes. But in my eyes, he's doing what he's supposed to do, but even a little bit better, especially shooting from the three-point line at 40%. That's absolutely crazy. Could he assist a little bit more? He's only averaging 4 assists a game, which is not very, Jokic-like, but rebounding the ball, even defending against Yusuf Nurkic and Kanter, the paint, he's doing pretty good at that. So I think a B+ is good, and I think it even could be better if he does play better in Game 6 or even is just he is just out of his mind, playing like his life depends on it, and the other Portland players are just sitting back and watching. It is so aggravating. I do not want to grade Gigi McCollum because A, he's not a starter. Well, he's not a star. Maybe not even a starter, who knows, man. That dude is so up and down. I've been on the hashtag trade CJ train for years now, and maybe after the season they will do it, but Damian by himself, he is at least an A. He's the only reason where Portland is today. He is scoring the ball crazily. He's assisting the ball crazily. He's getting people open. I mean, sure, on defense, that's not really Dame's thing, but same thing with Jokic. It's not really his own thing. But the way Damian is carrying the Blazers right now is insane. It's sort of like how Tatum is for the Boston series. I think the same thing for Dame. I think an A is the least you can really give him. Then we have the Suns and Lakers. I think I am going to do what I did for the Nets with the Suns. I think Chris Paul and Devin Booker combined together at least. Devin Booker is at least a B+. He is playing very well in his sort of first playoff role. I think, again, he's not trying to be the Devin Booker of the regular season, trying to outscore everyone and being that go-to dagger guy. I think he's picking his shots very well, given the fact that he's playing with one of the greatest point guards of all time in Chris Paul. He's averaging 26 points on 44% from the field. He's playing very well, 92% from the free throw line. 5 rebounds, 5 assists, almost a steal a game. Like, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and I like that. I think actually I'm gonna switch that to a B. I think Chris Paul and Devin Booker are both being very B type players. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Nothing too crazy, nothing too bad, I guess. You can only really argue that for Chris Paul, who was hurt for I think the first 2 games, 3 games even. He was looking pretty rough out there, but in game 5, my goodness, he really came out and played very hard and really sort of won that game for them. Even game 4, he played very well. So I think Chris Paul might be even a B+ for the last 2 games he played, and Devin Booker may be more of like a B. He's doing everything he should be doing. He's scoring the ball. He's facilitating everything we all know Devin Booker can do. They're playing very well. But then you have the LA Lakers, and LeBron is trying his best. Is LeBron still hurt? I genuinely think yes. LeBron is probably still not 100%. I think we all know that. I think he's playing okay. I'll give him like a B-. You know, he's playing good, but man, I wish we could see that scorer of LeBron. We all know he is a facilitator. He initiates the offense very well. We all know that, but I want to see LeBron go off, and I don't think we're going to see that in this series or maybe even ever again, which is really sad. I'll give him a B-. I know we could do more scoring-wise, even more entirely on the offensive end, obviously on the defensive end as well. He's not really doing what LeBron usually does, and that's sad. So I'm going to give him like a B-, maybe even a C+. And then AD, man, I almost want to give AD like a D+ because he got injured again. Like, that's so annoying that AD he can't stay healthy, and that's really sad because the Lakers' success is so heavily dependent on Anthony Davis and how he plays. The rest of his career, he plays in LA. It's so dependent on that. I'll give him like a C because he has been playing good when he does play, but I mean the entire season of Anthony Davis in a nutshell is just average. Like, he only scored like 22 points in the regular season. In the playoffs, he looked like he was starting to come into his own. Even the last sort of stretch of games in the regular season looked like he was really starting to become that Anthony Davis player. But it's not convincing me. I think a C is pretty good for Anthony Davis. Could he do more? Obviously yes, but he's hurt. So what else can you do? And lastly, we have the Dallas Mavericks and the LA Clippers. This might be my favorite matchup of the entire first round. Super crazy close games. We obviously have Luka, and then we have Kawhi and Paul George. I would say Kristaps, but Kristaps is absolutely thrown out of the discussion on being a sort of star type of player. he is something else, I'll tell you that. Anyways, Luka, I think Luka, in all honesty, might be he is. I'm giving Luka an A+. I think Luka is the only player in the first round I could solidly give an A+, because he is doing everything he should be doing, and even more than that. And not only is he doing more than that, he's doing more than that against a team who arguably has the best perimeter defenders in the NBA with Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. I wish they would play Pat Beverly a little bit more for his defensive edge. Even the Moore's brother, they have so much perimeter defense, and he's doing everything, basically by himself, and he is dominating that game. For the Clippers side of things, we have obviously Kawhi Leonard, who has been very up and down this playoff run, and last night's game that I watched was struggling very bad to find shots. I don't know if the Mavericks just have improved their defense or something like that, or Kawhi just having an off game, but I'm only gonna give Kawhi a C+. He's playing good, but man, you think one-on-one Kawhi on Luka, Paul George on Luka, they'd be able to stop him at least a little bit, and it seems like they can't. I think defensively he could be better on Luka Doncic, I'm not gonna lie. Offensively, he's scoring 20 plus points, but we really need to see that Toronto Raptor type Kawhi to really take over. The Clippers need a go-to guy. It can't be Paul George, I'll get into that, but Kawhi has to be, and he's not. I'll give Kawhi like a C+. He's doing good enough to win the series. Maybe he needs to be a little bit more, in my opinion. Paul George, on the other hand, I thought Paul George was going to have finally a breakout playoff series, getting a lot of criticism last year for being pandemic P, and this year he's playing a little bit better. I'll give him like a C-. In the games they win, he plays really good. In the games they lose, he plays terrible and is very inefficient. So, I mean, I don't want to give him like a D+. I feel like that's a little mean, and I know he already gets criticized a lot for the way he plays, but for some reason, dude, Paul George cannot catch a break at all, and it's so sad. He's averaging about 24 points per game, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Like, his stats are good, but then, he just doesn't seem to do it at the right points in time. He turns the ball over very badly in bad scenarios. It's not convincing me that he is turning a new page on his previous playoff performances. Maybe not my next video, but maybe in my next video, I'll do my first round sort of